My name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and in today's video I'm going to be looking at an interesting men's fragrance, one that's not exactly common. You may or may not have smelt this one before. Issey Pour Homme Intense. Now, if you're older than me and you were wearing fragrances in the 90s, I was barely alive in the 90s, you probably wore Issey Pour Homme, especially if you were in the fragrance world, if you were into men's perfumery. This is the intense version of that yuzu-rich men's fragrance. The difference with this one, I find, is that the dry down and the mid are significantly different. The opening is pretty similar with that yuzu and the bright citrus notes, but I feel that that's where the similarities sort of end. Now, you probably are a fan of the other fragrances in the Issey Pour Homme line. You got Le Bleu. This one's similar to the regular one, although all of these Issey Pour Homme fragrances from Issey Miyake, they all have similarities in that yuzu is a core component for each of them. Nuit d'Issey. I find that these two fragrances are more similar than this one is to the regular one. I couldn't find it. I own it, but I couldn't find it. It's somewhere. I could find the yuzu one, but I didn't want to just have a whole stack of fragrances in the room. Anyway, I'm just going to read out the accords and the notes here. Main accords: amber, citrus, warm spicy, fresh spicy, smoky, woody, balsamic, floral, green, leather. And the note breakdown according to Fragrantica is top notes of yuzu, bergamot, sweet orange, and mandarin. Middle notes of nutmeg, lotus, cinnamon, cardamom, saffron. Base notes of incense, papaya, ambergris, benzoin, and amber. This is an incredibly amber-forward fragrance. I probably could have mentioned it the other day in the video that I did where I mentioned a bunch of similar fragrances to Davidoff Cool Water Intense, because that is a very heavy amber fragrance. However, this is one of those fragrances, I would recommend it for summer. However, it's probably at the limit of what you can wear, like a dark fragrance that you can wear in summer. The bright opening is what makes this one viable in summer. However, as it dries down and as you wear it, it becomes incredibly amber forward with an animalic ambergris note and an incense note. So if you're a fan of like churchy, incensey fragrances, definitely check this one out, especially if you're usually someone that's averse to citrus fragrances. Like, I used to absolutely despise citrus heavy fragrances, but nowadays I'm a little different in that I like citrus openings because they tend to contrast better with darker mids and bases. This one, however, the performance is fantastic. We're talking 6+ hours easily. I mean, I put on 3 sprays of this at about 9:30 in the morning, and it's now 5:06, and I can still smell it pretty strongly. Just show you the bottle. I really like the Issey Miyake men's fragrances. I like the design. It's not as dark as Nuit d'Issey, but it's you know, it doesn't have the white cap of the original. Here's Nuit d'Issey. These two are, I find, the most similar of the bunch because they both have a lot of amber and incense. This you probably can't get away with Nuit d'Issey in the warmer weather, but this one you absolutely can because of that opening. Yeah, this one's more ambergris heavy. This one is more of a incense, vanilla, leather. I don't think leather's one of the notes in this one, but I do get a touch of that. But yeah. Anyway, you can't go wrong with any of the Issey Miyake fragrances. They're incredible value for money. Performance is usually fantastic, And all in all, they have something for everyone. They've got a lot of fresh fragrances, they've got a lot of long-lasting fragrances, they've got a lot of darker fragrances. All of the new Issey fragrances, the night ones, are fantastic and well worth checking out. Pour Homme Intense can be found at certain discounters and retailers for about $60 Australian. It really depends on availability, and at that price I highly recommend it because it's all in all just a fantastic fragrance, especially if you're not somebody that just immediately dislikes slightly animalic, ambergris based fragrances. So if that's you, check this one out. Even if it isn't you, I'd still recommend checking it out because it's great value and it's got great performance as well. Have you ever worn this before? If you have, let me know in the comments below. My name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious looks on YouTube, and until the next video, I'll catch you guys around.